in general, if you look at, I would say the middle line, the blue line is probably somewhat reasonable, and over rate of return we considered, I would say 50% is very easily achieved in refining. When I was working at ARCO, my department, when I was looking at new products, I was told that anything below 12% don't bring it up. That was about 20 years ago. I don't know what it is now, but in refining technology or processes, typically, I have tough time convincing customers, hey, here, look at this. If all the assumption was correct, that you're going to have minimum 50% IRR, and they still have tough time trying to do a product. I don't know what the deal is, but definitely re-refining provides high IRR, depending on the feedstock cost and also the final base oil product cost. Here's a big picture. Basically, you start at the bottom, neutral base oil. The base oil, as you all know, goes to blended lube oil, and the lube oil is used in an engine. And then that engine somehow at some time needs to be drained. And in re-refining, the whole idea is to collect that oil and bring it back to the re-refining process. So basically what we're talking about is how do we convert that collected oil in the re-refining process back into the neutral base oil. A typical gallon of oil, I'm sorry, I said gallon here, but typical volume, whether you want to call it metric ton or whatever you want to call it, per liter, a gallon of used oil in the US actually has about 5% water. And there's about another, somewhere between 5 to 10% combined fuel, what we call it light fuel and heavy fuel. Light fuel is gasoline-like, and heavy fuel is like a diesel-like. And then there's about 70 to 73% of lube oil that can actually convert to the base oil, and then the rest at the bottom is asphalt flux. That's very heavy material that's used as an asphalt blender. So what we want to do is that in the process, first remove the water, and then remove the light fuel, remove the heavy fuel, and then we're left with the mixture of lube oil and asphalt. And then we finally remove the asphalt, and then we just get the lube oil. And we send this lube oil into the hydrotreater in order to produce Group 2. And of course, there's some impurity still that you have to remove. And the impurity is actually typically is H2S. And then you produce API Group 2 base oil as your final product. There are, of course, technical challenges. The biggest challenge when it comes to re-refining has to do with fouling the equipment. It's caused by the polymerized additives in the oil. When you process it, and you have to process at a very high temperature, and it creates a lot of coating, a lot of fouling. Heat exchangers and the vacuum distillation columns and the reactors, they're heavily coked up. Because of this, typical life of re-refining process between the turnarounds basically is about a year. I'm sure the audience, you know about this much more than I do. In the typical base oil, base lube oil, you put a lot of that.